Hey guys and gals, Cross Plus Outdoors here, JC. Um, we're back. Thank God. We've been busy. Not making an excuse, but miss making some videos. Miss sharing. Um, miss sharing what I'm learning. And it's funny. You prep for a lot of years. You do certain things for a lot of years, and you wake up one day and you realize you really don't know crap. Okay, and you start listening and watching other people and reading books, and you realize how much education's out there and how much people are willing to share. And you have to be selective on who you're listening to. Okay, uh, but you start finding your niche of people that you're following, and what we all need to do as a community is repeat that information over and over and over. As much as I've heard it over the years, there's still things that we were lacking, and we're going to talk about a few of those things. But I wanted to come back and say hello and missed everyone and appreciate everyone's support, especially with crossbless.com, which is where we sell a lot of our outdoor products, and we're trying to increase that product base with budget friendly but good quality products. And those quality products come from Dakota and I running them, comes from my friends running them prior to me even putting them on the website. And it's also some partnerships that people have reached out to me with. And we're a small company. We're really small, but some of you who know me, we're pretty genuine in how we approach things and the products we carry. And we try to hold sales when we can. I try to take a lot of time in assembling the products, in regards to packaging them up, and make sure that I'm understanding what people's needs are. And we're trying to we try to discount things as far as shipping costs and stuff like that, which is hard. People go on Amazon and get free shipping. I can't compete against that, but I can try to figure out where to discount things at, and especially for the repeat customers, which a lot of you have been repeat customers. So anyways, let's get started and talk about what we're going to be doing here over the next coming weeks and months. And a tiny bit of political is we have July, August, September, October, 4 months to get ready for November elections. And I think that's going to be a turning point. And I know for us, we have adjusted much this last 6 months, not for any more reason due to the shift in the world. And in the last month or so, we have shifted again. And right when you think you're prepared, you are not prepared. And I consider ourselves pretty prepared, considering we live within the city limits. Even we live on the outskirts and we have a homestead, we are still behind due to the events happening so quickly and how they're escalating. So anyway, so let's start in that. One, we're going to step up prepping, and we're going to show you what we've been up to. We've added some items in regards to freezer storage, processing certain meats. One thing I will say, we've learned to do, and I've learned this from other prepping channels, and I've learned this from Step 1 Survival, Staff Sergeant B. I've learned this from Wayne Westwin. He just renamed his channel, so forgive me. I'll put it in the link. And some other people, and what you learn is you need to practice your preps, not just equipment. Most of us are good outdoorsmen. Most of us understand how to do things. And it doesn't mean we don't practice that, but do you practice your food preps? When I mean practice your food preps, do you actually eat your food preps? I do. Dakota doesn't like it sometimes. It doesn't matter what we like. It only matters what we're supposed to do. And we're supposed to be practicing for when we get into a situation that we're ready for it. Our bodies are somewhat conditioned, like running a marathon, right? I'm not going to run a marathon unless I train for it. Well, I don't need to train like a marathon guy who's going to run it in 2.5, 3 hours. I just need to train what I need to train to make sure that I'm comfortable and confident to be able to execute it when the time comes, which means I need to constantly train. So food preps in regards to fixing the food that you have in combination with other things that you're having. So we've been doing that a lot lately, and been so far okay. Some of it we don't like, but some of it is good. So that's one thing we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about food storage. We're going to talk about stepping up in regards to quantity food storage, especially from a meat standpoint, and we've increased our capacity due to a couple of large freezers and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about that as we go through. Homesteading, a little bit about that. We have a homestead, but when you really boil it down, your homestead, you try to figure out what you have there, make sure you have all the equipment, and make sure you duplicate what you have. And ours is in a high elevation, so we contend with different winter and summer and such like that. It's not as easy doing things during the winter when everything's covered blanket with snow. So that takes you inside to make sure you're food prepping and stuff like that. And then during summertime, you take advantage of gardening and stuff like that. So we're talking about homesteading, we're talking about equipment, and we're talking about some of the trials and tribulations that go with having a home that's away from you a handful of hours, and to be able to maintain and stuff like that. If you get something like that and you have a home where you're actually reside at and you're working, you got yourself a lot of work on your hands. Anyways, we're going to talk about homesteading in upcoming episodes. One thing we've done here is we had some chickens, and now we've added chickens, and we're going to talk about that in some upcoming episodes. And not that chicken's any sort of newness to a lot of people, but I think it's important to understand. We had 7 chickens, we down to 2 chickens, and half a month ago you couldn't buy eggs. Well, 2 chickens would be okay for us because it's only the 2 of us. All the kids are gone. They're in college. They're off on their way. But 2 chickens are not enough. So we had to regroup and added 17 new chickens plus the 2, which is 19. And we're talking about stuff like that. That's very inexpensive and easy, and it gives you food in a couple ways, but it is a lot of work. You have to understand, once you go into prepping, it is not part-time. I guess it could be part-time, but whatever situation you're in, whether you live in a big city, whether you live in a small city, whether you live in a small town, it's all relative to one another. So you have to maximize and make sure that not only, if you don't have chickens to take care of because you can't, because you live in an apartment in a big city, that's okay, but you got to be able to check your gear, go through your gear, and practice with your gear. And the only way to do that, if you can't do it within your apartment or your condo, whatever it is, you've got to go somewhere and practice with it. If you're able to have chickens and stuff like that, then it's a constant motion for us all the time. From the time we get up to the time we go to sleep, that we're taking care of livestock, chickens, animals, whatever it is. So we're going to be talking about that. Weapons and ammos. I'm not an old guy, but I am. Been around a while. I remember back in the day when they banned high-capacity magazines. I would go to the store. I was young, extremely young, in my early 20s. I'd go to the store, and the weapons I owned, I would buy the high-capacity mags, because at the time they were 10-round magazines and stuff like that. We're going back 30 years, okay? I've watched this cycle, whether it has to do with weapons, whether it has to do with equipment for weapons, or with ammo. I've watched it too many times. It's cyclical, and it happens the same thing over and over and over and over and over. So your best bet, if you're going to defend yourself, not only for you, for your home, for your homestead, or everyday carry, whatever the case is, you just need to get on top of that. And we're going to talk about that too. And I'm not going to tell people anything they don't already know, because I've learned all this not only from just living, but mostly from people on YouTube who share, and we have, as a community, need to continue to share. If we don't continue to share and repeat the message, then someone's not going to hear it who deserves to hear it, and they're going to have shortcomings, and they're not going to be able to take care of themselves or their family. And we can't have that. I want all my neighbors around here to be able to have guns. I know they don't, but I need to somehow encourage that to make sure that we all can defend together as a community. Because what's going on in the world right now, that's what needs to happen. Because these basement babies, as I call them, are coming into neighborhoods and playing ruckus. They're not playing ruckus on my watch. I've been around too long. My father's been around too long. My grandfather's been around too long. My mom's side of the family, grandma and grandpa and great-grandma and grandpa, all of them been around too long. And there's too many people who have relatives who fought to build this country. And we're not just going to sit around and let these basement babies who decide they want to come in and we're going to change the world. Change the world, just get up in the morning and go to work. Okay, donate to society. Make a difference. So, to weapons and ammos, that is something, in my opinion, people need to get on top of. If you're not going to get on top of it, you're going to have a shortcoming, because a switch in politics is going to happen. Before you know, we're going to go back to the era of 10-round magazines, or you can't buy a gun, or you can't do this, or we're going to serial code your ammo, or you can't buy ammo, or you can't buy ammo, now you can't buy primers, you can't buy powder, you can't buy casings, you can't buy nothing, and we're going to hug it out. Well, hugging don't work all the time, okay? So we're going to talk about that too. And I'm going to share, and I'm going to post things in the links to be able to go see these other channels that are just absolutely awesome. They have way more knowledge than me. Okay, I'm still playing catch up, but they're awesome, and I think it's important to share. Bug out vehicles. Last year bought me a bug out vehicle. 1989 Suburban, 3/4 ton, not 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive. But we're going to talk about bug out vehicles. And there's some conspiracy that goes along with the EMPs and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not that smart. Okay. All I know is I need a really good vehicle with a really strong engine that'll smash through some crap if I need to. Okay. And that's important. So we're going to talk about a bug out vehicle, and I'm going to show you the bug out vehicle. And we have a couple vehicles, so we're good. But if I had to get out of Dodge and the only vehicle that was working would be that thing, then that's what we're going in. So we're going to talk about the vehicle, we're going to talk about maintenance on it, we're going to talk about some of its vulnerabilities, we're going to talk about equipment we carry in it, and we're going to talk about how we're rebuilding it, not so much from an engine tranny or anything like that, mechanical standpoint. We are going to talk about how we do carry things to be able to fix that stuff, but we're going to talk about how we're reconstructing the vehicle to be able to make it safe and get out, and whether it's to the homestead or whether it's somewhere, but just get out of Dodge, because we do live within a vicinity of a city. Product development, we're working on a lot of new products. We're starting to obtain a lot more lines. Budget friendly. I want to be able to people to build an EDC bag, a bug out bag, a vehicle kit, whatever it is, with budget friendly, high quality items that not only we've run, but other people run, and we've shared those products forward, and to be able to create at times maybe some sales or something like that people could obtain the stuff cost effectively and build their bags. And we're also going to be building bags and selling bags with good quality stuff, not crap stuff. You get some of these bug out bags and stuff like that, and I tell you what, you'll be dead within the hour. Okay, none of that stuff. And we don't make high margin on our stuff. We don't. That's not the purpose. Dakota and I both have a day job. We work hard at it, and we come home and we start. She has her business, I have my business, and we start again. But if we don't equip everybody with the right equipment, good quality equipment that they could afford, it's not going to do any good when they're out there trying to strike a fire with a match that, hell, that thing couldn't strike a fire in 120-degree weather in the middle of the desert, right? Because it's worthless. You got to have good quality stuff everywhere that you do. And good quality does not equate to expensive. With proper research, proper testing, usage over and over and over, I feel that people could offer products at a budget-friendly price that is good quality, that is reliable, that'll save your life. And that's what we're striving for here at crossbless.com. A lot of work to do it. I may buy a product and shoot, I may have to use it for 3-4 months. And if 3-4 months I go, that product's worthless, out it goes. Or the product's good, then I got to figure out how to obtain it at a good price, create that relationship, bring the product in, run it through all the parameters that we're doing, whether it's coding it, inventorying it, putting it on the website, taking the pictures, shooting the videos, showing us using it, showing it in the pack, showing it in multiple ways you can use it. Just don't want to buy something, you're going to use it one way. You want to use it 2, 3, 4 ways as much as possible, and then share it with the community. It's a lot of work. It's okay. I love doing it. All right? But I'm not going to sell something in our store, in our online store at crossbless.com. I'm not going to do it, and everybody could attest to it who's been there. I'm not going to sell crap stuff. Just not going to do it. If you're looking for something cheap, go to Amazon then, or whatever, and buy something cheap from there. But if you look at the quality people who are out there selling products, they're selling quality products for a good price. And maybe that budget friendly is above your budget. Maybe it is. And there's nothing I can do about that. But you get a lighter, you don't need to spend $30 on a lighter when you could go spend $12 or $13, $14 on a lighter that has more features, is better quality. The problem is it's just not known, so people don't see it. So product development, a lot of product development we're going to be doing. New products you're going to see coming. If you don't follow us on Instagram, follow us there, CrossBless Outdoors. That's where a lot of it goes to first before it comes to YouTube. YouTube, you know, they can't do this, you can't do that, can't do this, can't do it. Freedom of speech, right? If I was talking blue stuff, it'd go on right away. But we don't talk blue here on the channel. We talk for the betterment of the country, for the betterment of the human race, all led by God, all led by how we were founded. I don't care what religion, race, political party you are, but I don't want to hear a bunch of crap either. What I want to hear is factual stuff, and we need to share with one another, and we need to respect each other's views, and I think that's important. And once we accomplish that, I'm not going to do things that always benefit me. I may do things that benefit the other person. I'm going to leave an intentional living, which means my intention is to do something for others before I do things for me. Once I do things for the others, then that will come back to me some way, shape, or form down the road. But my first intention is to do something for others. And if we do that as a country, we're going to be a lot better off. If we can keep on doing things because basement babies feel entitled, we're not going to get anywhere. And right now the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and the minority is leading right now, and we need to stop that. So we need to get back to the basics of what we're doing. We're not just doing it for us, but we're also doing it for each other and our country. God leading first. We need to understand that prepping in some way, shape, or form, and not everybody can prep the same way. You don't have to. But if you don't have some sort of preps or some sort of preparedness within you or what you carry or your vehicle, stuff like that, then you're going to come up short. And I will defend people who don't have everything, just like I'll defend with people who does have everything. But the more we educate one another, because I'm educated constantly. I'm constantly reading, I'm constantly watching, I'm constantly listening, and I'm constantly asking. And if we continue to do that, then we're all going to learn the importance of what it takes to survive, especially in today's world. So that's why we're talking about prepping. That's why we're talking about food preparedness. That's what we're talking about. If you could have like chickens, and if you could have weapons, ammo, equipment, things to protect you and your family. It is our God-given right. And whether woman or man, it is our right to protect our family. That can never be taken away. But if we don't have other things that support that, we just can't defend just with minimal stuff. We have to defend as a whole, because you're defending many things. You're defending that there's a shortage on food a handful of months ago. You're defending people that have lost their jobs, and what do I do? How do I buy groceries? It seems like lately we're constantly on the defense instead of being on the offense. But if you prepare, then you'll be on the offense all the time. So when the storm hits, the storm may push you off the trail a little bit. That's God's hand doing that, just to test us, see how we do it. But we know where the path is, and we'll come back onto that path. And that's important. We have to come together as a nation, as a country, and understand why we're here and what our job is together as a country. I have friends I don't agree with. I've been friends with them for 30 years. They're on one side, I'm on the other side. If you can't have a conversation with them, and respect their views and listen, and probably get educated, because you're probably going to get educated, because there's no way you cannot get educated if you're a good listener. If you're seeking to understand, then that makes you a good listener, because you're listening to understand. It doesn't mean you have to agree, but if you listen to understand, then that might give you something to go, I appreciate that and I respect that. But if you close your mind, we're not going to get anywhere. Now these basement babies need to be taken back down to the basement, give a little bit of mac and cheese, and lock the door. And I hold a lot of the parents, our education system, and the influence of the laziness society accountable for how one another is turning out. So I'll tell you what I was taught. Get up in the morning, go to work. And just don't go for a job. Go make a difference. And while you're doing it, yank someone up with you. And make sure they're out ahead of you. Because one day they'll have to take your spot. Be intentional about how we're living. Be intentional in what you're doing. Don't do it for you. Do it for others. It'll come back to you. And if you live that way, you'll know it comes back to you some way, shape, or form. You may not identify it with what you did a long time ago, but you'll go, man, that sure is generous what they did. And it could be on a different platform. It could be in a different company, or it could be different wherever. But you realize that if we do that, then perpetual motion, the life cycle, keeps going, and before you know it, the momentum never stops. But if we don't do that, then we're going to destroy ourselves. So, back to the task of the list I have in front of me. Those are the things we're going to talk about. There's much more we're going to talk about. All I'm doing is sharing what I'm learning, what I'm hearing, what people share with me just because, what people share with me by me seeking and watching videos or reading all the books I have. That's what we're going to be talking about. You cannot share the message too much. You can share the message too little, where people don't hear. That's what we're going to be doing. Chickens, products, homesteading, gardening, leather work, equipment modifications, equipment ads, equipment bloopers. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. Bug out vehicles. And just getting back to God which this country was built on, and why we're where we're at today, not only by current military, veterans, civilians who protect us, who defend this nation 24/7 in order for us to yank that blanket up and go to sleep and feel safe. We're going to talk about that too, because I think we're losing track of why we're able to do what we do today, because of who defends us. And that irritates me. It's irritated me not only before I was born, because the education I learned about how we don't support our VAs, since I've been alive, the wars we've been through, and the lack of support they get, and the lack of respect they get for why we have what we have today, why I'm sitting here sharing and talking with you, and why I'm able to go to sleep at night, wake up in the morning, and drive my vehicle across town to go to work and earn a good living. I only have that for one reason, and that's because people who defend this country, and we've lost sight of that. And them basement babies didn't lose sight of it. They're not educated on it because the parents, the education system, and society has no respect for it. And to me, that's BS. And we're talking about that too. So I'm gonna go on some rants every now and then. And I apologize for it out front, but you wanna know it? We need to talk about it, and we need to educate one another, because I think it's important. Just because I have an opinion doesn't mean I'm right. It's just my opinion. My opinion is driven by passion. Passion is backed up with some facts that I know, but I don't know all the facts. So I got to ask, and I got to get educated. That way I can improve the facts to be able to improve my opinion, to be able to share it. And this lack of support for our military and our country and that flag is just absolutely irritating. I don't want to see it no more. I'm tired of it. You don't like it? Move. I worked in Canada for a couple of years. Go to Canada. You don't like that? Go to Europe. Go anywhere. I tell you this much, they're not going to have you. They don't want you over there screwing up their world. So you want to make a difference? Go make a difference in a positive way. Don't tear down our history. Don't tear down our statues. Don't deface our statues. And by God, don't dishonor that flag. I see someone dishonor a flag, which I never have. I've only seen it visually on TV. If I've ever seen anybody dishonor that flag, I don't have a problem going to jail. I'll stop you. We have what we have because of that flag, because people fought for that flag. And they still fight for that flag. And that flag should be honored. Are we a perfect society? No. We have deficiencies? Oh yeah. But a lot of deficiencies. You have deficiencies. I have deficiencies. Families, companies. Everybody has deficiencies. This pounding on the drum of this crap of white supremacists and racial and all this crap. I'm Mexican. Maybe I ought to make a Mexican Lives Matter movement. What does that have to do with anything? Nothing. We are one. It's what makes America great. There's people from all over the place who've come here. By working hard, though. They've come here. We've made this country what it is. Diverse. Unique. Different cultures. Learning from one another. Respecting each other's culture. Learning from that. And hope one another, we intentionally help that person to improve what they have. In turn, they will improve what we have. But we all move forward as one. We rise as one, and we fall as one. But this individual crap doesn't work. It's not who we are as a country. And that's why we're the greatest country in the world. Because we should be united, together, not just for one's cause, but for others' causes. And to be able to get that message out as long as it does not impact our integrity, our morals, or why this country was built. Anyways, that's all I have for you. Maybe I'll start out with a good video, maybe some chickens or something like that. Show you all the chickens. Chickens are funny, make me laugh. Anyways, God bless. Enjoy your next outdoor venture. And please, please, stay prepared. Thank you.